For 14 years, Emperor Nero, last emperor of the Julio-Claudian dynasty, ruled the Roman Empire through repression and crucifixion. He's a tyrant who witnessed his own city burned and ordered the crucifixion and live burning of Christians. I think Nero was evil incarnate. If you talk to historians and psychologists, they will classify him as the predecessor to Adolf Hitler. This is the story of how a young child gets dragged into a position of power through against his will, from murdering his own family to committing genocide on Christians. Nero is a name that will forever give Christians nightmares. Nero was born during the late reign of, let's just say, a guy we covered in our last episodes. That's right, Caligula. Look, I already made a video on Caligula, so if you wanna catch the details, go watch the first episode of this series. Suffice to say, both Tiberius and Caligula fucked things up, so it was up to Uncle Claudius to clean up their fucking mess and enter the empire into a new golden age since Augustus. He also, unbanished one of Caligula's sisters that he fucked and, banished because he suspected that, she was going to kill him, and basically married her. Yes, I know that sounds gross, but hey, this is ancient Rome. There's a lot of gross stuff going on. Her name was Agrippina the Younger, Nero's mother, and she would turn her son from the bottom of the barrel of Roman people, from an artist to a full-on emperor, whether he liked it or not. So she secretly killed her husband / uncle and made Nero full-on emperor. For the next 5 years, Nero's first 5 years in power were actually kinda great, still on par with Claudius' reign. And he was popular, especially in the eastern provinces, or what would become the Eastern Roman Empire, because of his art degree, I guess. And but that all changed in 59 A.D. when Nero attempted to murder his mother when he went a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs due to his early childhood of, being both not abandoned, but separated from his mother and, forcing to live with a fucking lunatic Caligula. And basically he suspected his mother's trying to kill him. So he tried to kill her by putting her on a boat he bought for her. And let's just say it kind of worked, but also she was still alive, so he sent his guards to finish the job. 3 years later, in an attempt to marry the woman he actually loved, Pompeia, Nero murdered his actual wife, who was actually his cousin, and because she didn't want to be with her. And he murdered his current wife, which caused outrage in Rome, and this will lead to something in 2 years later. Just get to it. In 64 AD, it's believed that Nero caused the Great Fire of Rome and blamed it on Christians as he burned it. He then ordered thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of Christians to be crucified and set ablaze throughout the whole city and through his palace. He also ordered his top advisor to commit suicide, and this is where Nero from 64 to 65 was at his most psychotic, murdering Christians, reinstating the treason trials and conducting purges against against disagreeable citizens, and just murdering everyone he just fucking hated. 3 years later, Nero's reign of terror would end when the Senate and many provinces of Rome declared him enemy number one. He then fled to the eastern provinces where he hoped he would receive a warm welcome, which he did, but the eastern and western halves of the empire were fighting each other, one against Nero, one for Nero. Eventually, Nero's enemies were getting close, so in a last fuck you to his enemies, he committed suicide. And his last words saying, "You're too late," as he grins. So yeah, that was the end for Nero.